Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.
Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Sarah Fensky. Rung for Women wants to help the women of St. Louis, quote, thrive, not survive. The new nonprofit is getting ready to launch its first immersive 6-month program. And its new $20 million campus in the city's Fox Park neighborhood is now open monthly for tours. Once it's fully open, the place is designed to be a one-stop shop to help women making $50,000 or less each year to attain both personal and professional goals. And joining us today to talk about this exciting new organization is its president, Leslie Gill. Leslie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
So many organizations were formed with a goal of uplifting women. What makes Rung unique out of all of those?
So what makes Rung unique is the fact that we are really focused on helping women thrive, not just survive. And so, many organizations in the St. Louis region focus on crisis and stopping the bleeding. And Rung is really that next step up on the ladder, if you would, towards success and holistic self-sufficiency. So, we didn't want to just be another crisis organization. We really did want to focus on women who are living in the middle, working poor, living on the brink of crisis, but stable enough to really think about what their future could be.
It's interesting when you talk about thriving. There's also a lot of advice in that sector, but it seems to really be targeted at women who are privileged. How do you help women who aren't carve out the time and the space to help themselves?
Yeah, so we really have focused on designing both our program and our space with women in mind, busy working women, busy family women, busy women who, time is a commodity. And so we have designed our program to really focus on meeting women where they are. So that means we'll primarily offer evening hours, some weekend opportunities, coaching instead of case management. So matching each of our members with a coach who can really be their accountability partner and making those services accessible now virtually, but also at our campus here in Fox Park. In addition to accessibility, we also have built the space with busy women in mind. So we'll provide daily grab-and-go meals. We'll provide on-site childcare, a variety of services to remove those barriers that would typically keep women from being present, and to be more aligned with, as you mentioned, the services that women in privilege typically have access to because they have, babysitters or after-school programs where, kids can wait while they pursue their dreams and goals.
So this all sounds really cool, but none of it sounds cheap. How do you make it affordable for these women who would benefit so much from it?
Yeah, so we are a nonprofit organization. Our goal is to help women achieve holistic self-sufficiency, and those services come at no cost to our members. We have a variety of nonprofits who are co-located here in Fox Park with us, and we have a very generous founder who sees this as her legacy. So she is giving us the on-ramp to get started. And then eventually we will raise money to sustain the effort long term.
So we let our listeners know that we were going to be talking about this today. We shared about it on social media, and we heard some great enthusiasm. Nicole writes on Facebook, I think this is such an awesome concept. I love the synergy between various local nonprofits to provide a comprehensive resource for women in our community. Who are some of the nonprofits that you're working with on this?
Yeah, so we are really excited to be working with the Collective STL, and they will provide yoga and mindfulness support. Fit and Food, which is an organization based out in North County, they will offer nutrition and exercise. Provident and Safe Connections will be our mental health partners. Family Care Health Center will provide on-site medical We'll have an on-site medical center. Women's Foundation of Greater St. Louis, they'll partner with us on volunteerism. Urban Harvest, STL, we're growing food on site. And so part of those daily grab-and-go meals also include access to, quality, healthy food options. And so Urban Harvest is our partner in that space. And then finally, Prosperity Connections. Prosperity will provide financial coaching to help women, once they start making more money, we want to make sure that money works for them both now and in the future.
Now, I understand the idea is that people will be in a 6-month cohort, and this is going to get underway next March. The application period is in January. If you're feeling excited about all this, you have to wait till January to apply. But what's the idea of having people in for 6 months rather than let people just drop in and take advantage of what they want to take advantage of?
Yeah, that was really intentional in our design process. We did a significant amount of research across the country, and just in our own experiences, sort of recognize that women rarely have the opportunity to pause and do that introspection and think about kind of what they want their lives to be. And so the 6-month commitment to coaching is really to offer an opportunity for them to do that. And the cohort model is really to build this sense of community and to allow for time to create some healthy social networks. And so, it was intentional in our design to do that. We really want women to take the time to come up with a family action plan, to determine what their goals are, to take a pause and really think through, like, what do I want my life to be? And so the commitment around 6 months is just to allow that time. And also recognizing that, many women that we will likely serve come to us with, deep historical trauma, come to us in careers that they hate. And we don't want them to keep having the same outcomes, right? Because they're reactionary as opposed to being proactive. And so that 6 months is really their commitment to themselves.
You've mentioned that with this upcoming first cohort, everyone is going to start together, but folks might not finish together. How does that work?
Yeah, so, if we were to start together, our goals might be different. I could come to Rung with the desire to perhaps start a new career and lose 10 pounds. And you could come with the desire to reduce debt and have a better sleep patterns, right? So, your goal might take you 3 months to achieve, or, 6 months or 9 months, or my goal might take a couple of years. And so, the starting point is to build that community and build that network of women who are having, who are at similar places in life. And so they start together, but they might not finish together, just like going to college. You start with your freshman class, but you might decide to go pursue a master's in education, and it takes you 5 years versus your roommate who, is on the 4-year plan.
And so people can keep going. This is not something where you get booted at the end of 6 months.
That's correct. You're not time bound in your commitment to Rung. At a minimum, women will come and participate in 6 months of what we call Me 101, or that transformative coaching experience. And then beyond that, they will complete Me 101 with their family action plan and their goals. They will also have a coach who is their accountability partner. So, it could take several years. And if you get to a point where you're like, okay, I've made it to the top of the ladder, we encourage you to pay it forward and help other women who are coming into the program and need, those healthy social networks.
We're talking to Leslie Gill. She's the president of Rung for Women. That's a new nonprofit that is going to be taking its first cohort next spring. They're located in the Fox Park neighborhood. They have an awesome new campus. It's now open monthly for tours. Leslie, I'm curious about your background. You've described your role as president of Rung for Women as, quote, a unicorn job. This is one of these that you dream of. How did you get to this point yourself?
I have always had really strong women in my life, mother, stepmother, aunts, surrogate mothers who, coached me and provided good role models along the way. I have spent most of my career in the nonprofit sector working for Girl Scouts and Malone organizations where, they were either focused on, girl power and development or, working with the least and the lost of kids in our community who have been abandoned and neglected. And so, I have seen it all, honestly. And for me, it felt good to be able to build something from scratch and really focus on helping women get ahead as opposed to stopping the bleeding or, looking back and trying to fix problems that are systemic in our community and our region. So, yes, this is a unicorn opportunity. It's a chance to really focus on how do we move women forward and create a stronger middle class for our region. So then hopefully our communities are safer and healthier and more economically stable. And so I have loved leading this journey for the almost 3 years. So I started as our only employee with no building and no staff, and now we're up to almost 15 people, and we have our campus, and it's open. And as you mentioned, we will soon have our first class of Rung members, and I'm just super excited about what the future holds for us.
Well, so it feels new to me, but man, you've been working on it for a while now, and that's awesome to hear. Going from 1 to 15, a lot of work goes into that. Do you feel like there's particular ways that you can identify with the women that you're aiming to reach, despite all the success you've had in business?
Oh, absolutely. I say all the time, like, I have been a Rung woman at some point in my life. I'm, divorced. I'm now a single mom, and going through those experiences felt isolating. I felt alone. I often didn't have, friends who are family members who I felt like I could talk to. And so, considering or contemplating new career or new job opportunities, I've been there. I've been in this place where you just feel stuck. Bad relationships get you there sometimes, losing friends, grief, all of the trauma that comes with life. So I've been there. I've been in a place where, I didn't know what my next move would be, right? And so I felt stuck. And so I often say, Rung will be a place to help women get unstuck and to really think about power and potential and access and opportunity and how they grow and thrive in ways that they could have never imagined.
You've said that in a way, the COVID-19 crisis has taken the mission of Rung for Women from nice to necessary. What do you mean by that?
I think, the changes in our economy, primarily because of COVID, but we were starting to see some of this, just women and in the workplace and all of the pay disparities and inequities. We were seeing some of that pre-COVID. I think COVID has obviously made it worse. Much of the burden of parenting is falling on, the backs of women, and we're often making choices around, can we continue to work, or do we have to make the sacrifice to stay home and homeschool and help our kids with virtual learning? And so, now we are seeing real cases of women who are having to pivot into new careers, pivot into careers that require them to or offer the option to work from home. There are many, many careers that don't even have that option. So when you're having to make these tough choices, Rung will be a place where we can help train them, help connect them directly to new career pathways, and get them reskilled quickly so that they can meet the demands of, this global workforce that we're all contending with now, and this very different workforce given the impact of COVID.
Well, it feels like such important work, and I'm sure there's some women listening today where they feel like this is something I want, or they know someone in their life who wants it. If people want more information, I know it's too early to apply just yet, but what would be their best step to learning more or finding ways to connect with you guys?
Yeah, certainly. We are getting ramped up for our application process to open in January of 2021. You can go to our website and express interest so that as soon as those applications are available, you can apply and attend the info session. So rungforwomen.org is our website. That is probably the best source of information right now. We are doing monthly tours of our building, and that's the first Wednesday of every month at 8:30 a.m., 2717 Sydney Street. So we actually had a tour this morning.
That's great. And that is perfect information, rungforwomen.org. And unfortunately, we're out of time. But Leslie Gill, President, we want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you.
This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio. That's 90.7 KWMU.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.